Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is September 1st, 2021. This is episode 401. We are in the 400s now. Woohoo! So, pretty excited about that. Also, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be appearing on Fizzchozo's show. It's Fizzchozo. It'll be my first live stream appearance and face reveal if you're into that kind of thing. I'm kind of excited to do it, but we'll see how it goes. It might be my last time. It might be that bad. But Fizz has been nice enough to invite me on, so I'm going to take him up on the offer. Just got back from California, back in Texas, and it is hotter than blazes here. Had a real nice stay in California, seeing family and friends, a lot of them, and missed out on seeing so many more, so I'm kind of sad about that, but hopefully I'll be back there soon. Okay, today we're looking at Blade Runner Origins. So this is the arc that takes place in 2009, supposedly, on the Blade Runner timeline. If you recall, the original Blade Runner took place 2019, and this is 10 years previous. So we've got on the cover here, we've got our main hero here, Cal Moreaux. This is kind of like a comic noir. I saw someone else describe it as that, and I think that's pretty good. And in the background here, it looks like to me the ghost of Effie. She was an assistant to Dr. Kind that got murdered, and then she got murdered by Ilora Stahl, who works for the Tyrell Corporation. So this is a Titan comic. It is the 5th in the arc. I believe the next issue will be the end of the arc. I'm not sure. And it comes in at a whopping $3.99. So we get a nice color separation for the action here. We get the backdrop of the modern city. Cal, of course, and with his more modern gun. And he's out hunting replicants. And let's take a quick look at what this comic has to offer and who worked on it. Written by Kay Perkins and Mello Brown. The art is by Fernando Dagnino. The colors are by Marco Lesko, and the letters by Jim Campbell. It's edited by David Leitch. And the creative consultants were Michael Green and Mike Johnson, who work on the other Blade Runner comics that are available now. I believe there's a Blade Runner 2029, and then the original Blade Runner 2019. Okay, what's nice about this is that we do get a little bit of information about what the Tyrell Corporation is, what's going on with the future of the cities, and how their replicants are helping people live their lives. And then we get the story wrap up until now, and it takes place in Los Angeles, 2009. Basically, they are doing what they call the Nexus 4 robots, and there's a secret Nexus 5 robot that has escaped, but it's malfunctioning. And that's what we pick up here. His name is Arnold. He's already malfunctioned in public, but now he's doing it in a private home, where he has gotten kind of stuck in some kind of pattern that he cannot get out of, and he turns kind of violent. Cal happens to track down the robot to this home and approaches the woman. She doesn't want to let him in because she figures he's an LA cop. He tells her, no, I'm working for Tyrell. We're here to take the robot back, or the replicant back. Meanwhile, the replicant kind of loses it, and we have Dr. Kind, I don't know how to say that exactly, who busts through the window. Now, she is a Asian woman that has put her consciousness into a Nexus 4 male bodysuit. So she comes in and saves the day. She's able to, using her strength, to take down the strength of this Nexus 5, and it keeps malfunctioning, just asking why. So they take the robot, or how is it called, a robot, the replicant, away to Davina, who runs a bar nightclub type deal, and Davina is a drag queen. So we've got a lot of things going on here. The story itself, I think, is great. I think it needs to be told. I look at it and look at this art here; it's beautiful. Um, but it's kind of bogged down with all this baggage of I don't know, these people trying to talk about their own situations. I don't think it really adds to the story. The action is with the replicant search and everything else that's going on. Why this replicant's malfunctioning, but we get the the drag queen's perspective. We're getting the Asian's perspective. We're getting Moreaux, who's happens to be black, his perspective with. And it seems to get in the way of the story to me. I just wanted to hear the story, and I'm not that interested in their side stories because it's not adding to the main story. It's kind of like interjected, forced upon us. But main story is good, so I am recommending this. Great art throughout. The most action that we saw was just this bashing through the window. It's pretty much talking and posturing throughout the whole comic. The art is still good. The story does move along a little bit in this issue, not as much I would hope. As you can see, they're arguing back and forth, talking about being accepted and not accepted for who they are. And we continue on to Cal ends up leaving the Divinas after he talks with Ilora and sends her away, sends her back and telling her, I still have 4 more days to find him. He's kind of hiding her from Ilora, who we find out is the evil. She is white, but she's a woman. So when we don't know everything about her, she could actually be a replicant as well, for all we know. She seems to be pretty strong. So she wanders off. Meantime, Cal goes along his way. He gets a tip to go to a club called Masks. I think I got that one right. It's called Masks. Oh, excuse me. It's called all caps. I don't know why I called it Masks. Probably because the mask up there. And he goes down a secret entrance to a bar down below that's pretty active. You can see the bar up above is not. And he talks with this woman that he seemed to have had some kind of a relationship at one time with, but he's actually not welcome there. He is grabbed from behind, and this is where we end the scene with him being held at knife point because he's asking too many of the wrong questions. It's to be continued. So it is a recommend. I have enjoyed the artwork in it throughout. I think it's pretty good. And the main story is really good. Some of the, like I said, some of the little subplots are not really adding to the main story. They're kind of getting in the way and bogging it down. But that can happen sometimes when you try to be a little bit more edgy in certain areas and get a little more political. If they just stick with the main story, I think it goes much better. Now, there's a couple other, shows that I have been watching. There's a British show about robots and oh God, what's the other one? It was a Russian show. They're both on Netflix. Not like, or Better Than Us. And they had the kind of this replicant theme going on as well. And I just find that main theme kind of interesting as robotics take a bigger, have a bigger impact on our lives overall and what's going to happen with that in the future. So, okay, so we've got an ad for Blade Runner 2029 here, and some quotes here. 10 out of 10 from Bleeding Cool, a must read. I think they kind of like everything, so I wouldn't take that. It might be good. I have not checked it out. And then we get our cover gallery for this issue with Cal Moreaux, and then here we have Ilora Stahl there. It's the other cover, and some other covers that were in the cover gallery. That one actually looks pretty interesting. And our next issue is going to look like this. Asia and Marcus find themselves fighting for their lives against the pierogi replicant, while Cal and Desiree discover the identity of the rogue Nexus 5. So there you go, on sale in September, issue number 6. And finally, we just get some quick blurbs saying how great this comic it is. I think it is pretty good. So it is getting the Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating seal of approval, given out only by Indie Comics Jones on this particular channels, except no substitutes. Thanks for stopping by and listening to this review. Hey, check me out tomorrow if you get a chance. 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Fizzchozo's channel on YouTube. Fizzchozo. All right. So as always, please like, please subscribe if you haven't. You can leave comments if you wish. And we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.